Buddy Icy Cat here, and today we've got some more news regarding Operation White Noise. We now know what the Polish attacker's gadget can do and what her weapons loadout is. Additionally, there's also other information regarding when we might be seeing the new season roll out. So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about here. The first is this new information. This appears to be our first look at the new Polish Grom attacking operator Zelphia. These images were leaked today on social media, and we've got a few different pages of bios. This looks pretty much identical to the layout we saw for Ella when she first came out. She had very detailed background information and story, and it was really following this same kind of a similar format. This next page is the one that we want to pay attention to, though. This is her gadget loadout, and this explains a little bit about what we can expect to see when we play her. So the first thing is, we know that the other day we were talking about how we got a look at some kind of a double-barreled launcher, and here we get some information on that. If you read the description, it says that this is the KS-79 Lifeline, and that's a double-barrel grenade launcher. It says it makes use of electronically triggered projectile technology that can fire both concussion and impact ammunition. Since multiple grenades are superposed in the gun barrel, reloading magazines is no longer necessary, resulting in unmatched efficiency. It says the concussion ammunition delivers a 170 decibel shockwave that impairs hearing and causes a dizzying effect. The impact ammunition bulldozes walls in an instant, and that we should get ready for an explosive assault. So it sounds like we may have some kind of a grenade-launched version of Ella's proximity concussion grenades. This would create somewhat of a similar effect. It sounds like it might be sonic-based, and we definitely will see some kind of a dizzying effect from that. Then, much like Capito, where you can switch between two different types of bolts for his crossbow, here we have the second option of having some kind of impact ammunition. So the reference to bulldozing walls in an instant for an explosive assault is very interesting, because that's quite reminiscent of what Ash's ability is. Now, we wouldn't want to get an operator that really kind of mimics the exact way that she works, so I'm assuming there's going to be something that's a little bit different here. Whereas Ash's breaching rounds can make a hole in the wall for an operator to run through, I'm thinking that this will probably be more limited in some capacity. So maybe we're going to see something more on the order of what Hibana's gadget can do, where this would be for non-reinforced walls perhaps, but it could knock a similar size hole where it would not be large enough to actually get through, but it would give you the real estate to be able to shoot through that area at least. Or maybe it makes something more on the order of magnitude like Buck or Sledge, where it makes a hole that can't be run through, but it can be vaulted through. I would really be surprised if it actually made a full-size hole like Ash's breaching round can do, because then the gadgets would be a little too similar, and actually, why would you ever take Ash then if you have somebody that can do the same thing she can do, but then also has the ability to have the concussion grenades on top of it for that added versatility? She has to have some kind of limitation that isn't as effective as Ash's for that breaching round. The two primaries are listed as an LMGE and an M762. Making a return is Ella's sidearm, the RG-15. You can also make out the red dot sight on there, so that will be coming back again. This operator also comes equipped with the choice of secondary gadgets of either a breaching charge or a claymore. And finally, we can see that this is listed as a 2-speed, 2-armor operator. Going through the rest of the operator's information, we can see that there's a lot of personal family history here. It goes into how she worked with Ella a little bit, as well as some details regarding prior mission operations and things like that. Briefly get kind of a leak that occurred on Friday, and unfortunately happened Friday night. I was busy spending family time with the wife and kids when it came out, and then Ubisoft took it down immediately. Now you can see here by the blog post that it is dated for November 13th. This would have been yesterday, so I wasn't real worried about covering it over the weekend. I assumed it was going to come out on Monday according to this date, and that they had just released it early. It did come out on the official Ubisoft blog page though. But yesterday came and went, and so did today. This has not popped back up again since, which is interesting. Based on the information that we can see here, it sounds like this operator, who I think is called Dakobe, I'm not sure, I don't know how to say that in proper Korean, but she is an operator that sounds like she may have some kind of a hacking ability. Now, a while back, the 4chan leak that did confirm some of the other gadgets we saw, including Zophia's stun launcher, as well as the name of the Operation White Noise, did list that the Korean attacker would have some type of a gadget which will allow them to make a sonic noise on existing defensive gadgets so that the attacker would be able to locate them. This would almost be something that sounds a little similar to IQ's ability in some ways, and this could be what it was talking about. There's not enough details explained here exactly what's going on, but the gist of it is that it sounds like she's used to working with high-tech gadgets, and she can infiltrate her way into places where she's not supposed to be. This operator's name is known as Grace, and that she's part of the Korean 707th Special Mission Battalion, which we did already know from some previous information that had come out. They specifically state that this attacker will be equipped with the MK-14 EBR marksman rifle. That's super exciting. The MK14 is one of my favorite platforms for a marksman rifle. It's really cool. I always love playing it in just about any game I can get my hands on one of these. So while I don't play a lot of DMRs, this may actually be an exception to the rule for me. Her other option, it says, is a BOSG 12.2 shotgun as her other primary selection. Not exactly sure on what that is, and that's not uncommon. We'll often see some kind of a licensing issue where maybe a weapons manufacturer doesn't want to officially endorse the use of a gun in-game, or maybe there's some kind of thing behind the scenes where they just can't legally use the proper name of it, even though they'll use a model that looks pretty much identical, and they'll just call it something a little different. Then it also says that for her secondary weapons, she'll have a choice between the C75 Auto or the SMG-12 machine pistols. And then it says what makes her even more dangerous, however, is her Trickster Streak, and it can get you killed. This is probably, again, a reference to the operator's ability. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that pans out into. The final bit of information is regarding the upcoming release date for when we'll see the season begin. Now, I had originally thought that perhaps we would be following the trend of previous seasons, where you get the reveal show match for the new season at the Pro League Finals, then a day or two will pass, and then on either the Tuesday or the Wednesday of the following week, traditionally they have released the new season starting at that time. The exceptions being for last season during Operation Blood Orchid's reveal, we were delayed for 1 week, and then previous to that, Operation Health had just screwed everything up for when things were going to be released. So I was thinking that we would be seeing the new content drop next week on Tuesday, November 21st. However, it sounds like that's not going to be the case. We will now be seeing the content drop first on the technical test server starting Monday, November 20th, but that will only be on the technical test server. So if you're just playing the base version on PC, not the TTS version, or if you're on console on either Xbox or PlayStation, you will not be seeing this new content on November 20th. If you are, however, on that test server, then you will have access to the new map and operators. By the sound of it, all the changes that we'll be seeing should be there, just going by the way that this is written. So what does that mean for our projected release date of when the new season comes? Well, it's going to be at least a full week later. They're not going to be deploying this on the test server and have it coming out right away within the next day or two. They will announce the actual release date sometime during the course of Pro Leagues if they don't do it in a teaser trailer before then. And I'm thinking they're going to want to push everything through that test server first for about a week and see if any changes or hiccups get caught. This is a bit of a sticky point for some people, though. They get really upset because if they've bought the season pass, that gives them 7-day exclusive access to the operators before everybody else gets them. But if you're participating in the technical test server, then you're getting it even before the normal season pass holders would get it. For people that pay for that season pass, this gets some ruffled feathers going. And it's sort of one of those things where I can see both sides of the argument. On one hand, yes, season pass operators were promised the first crack at the exclusive content. And they are still getting that because they still get it for 7 days before anybody else that doesn't have the season pass gets it, except for if those people are in the technical test server program. On the other hand, though, we have seen in previous seasons before they had a test server that new operators would come out and things would break the game and they didn't catch it until it was like in the wild. We all remember when Mira first came out and you could melee her windows from the other side and made her pretty much a broken operator for the entire first month until they patched it. So from the developer's standpoint, this is a way to head off those kinds of issues before they are permanently added into the game. They can push out a small release to patch the bigger one, and that does wind up being a good thing for everybody as far as that's concerned, but there are definitely two sides to that position. So now we've got some of these peeks behind the curtain, what do you guys think all of this means? Let me know down in the comments below or share with me over at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Of course, we'll be getting new information and new teaser trailers as well coming up over the next few days and leading into Pro Leagues, so if you want to make sure that you're aware of all that information as it comes out, then please do like and subscribe. Be sure to click that notification icon too, and you will be alerted as soon as I upload new content. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.